Ring a ring 'em all. Ring a ring 'em all. Ring a ring 'em all.
Hey yo,
Ring a ring 'em all.
hey yo shit.
Ring a ring 'em all.
Yo shit, yo shit.
Ring a ring 'em all. Yeah. Ring a ring 'em all. I step into the ring up and it's raw. You niggas know like senior, you a bar. Katena joke, I sing ya, they applaud.
So, would you get signed to a record label? And why?
Bruh. There's no need.
Just that simple. There's no need.
I mean, we're in a space right now whereby even right now, Google, ask yourself what it. Ask any question, Google will answer it to you. I think the problem with artists these days, we've put too much time frame in the whole I need to blow up thing, right? And then we're also coming from underprivileged homes, so we find ourselves in a position where, if someone tells you go get it, go do it yourself, or you're gonna take 10 years.
Yeah, it gives you a mind blow.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with this. There's beauty in the struggle. There's nothing wrong with that. And problem we're too smart. We're too smart. Like too much. Personally, for myself, I believe I'm a very smart guy. If somebody's gonna come and say a deal, it has to make sense.
Yeah.
All parts of the contract has to make sense. I'm not saying I'm not gonna get signed. You know what I mean? Because everybody in the game, even STC said that. So I'm not gonna be the next egotistic guy who's like, nah, I'm not gonna get signed. But right now, I don't think I'm ready to be signed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying what the music is not great, and I'm not saying the visuals are not great or whatever,
Yeah.
But I believe I need to be in a position whereby I can sit with a business person and we won't even have to talk about the music.
Yeah.
We have to talk about the business. Because after all, music is business.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Fella.
Music is
Many great people.
yeah. So music is business. So the fact that I can be in a table with somebody who's smarter than me, and still wants to approach me as if I'm smarter like him, then there's a problem. Because everybody knows. What right now I eat or Madimano, Kamona, Duana Marota Mona, I get and I'm the smart one. Then there's an imbalance right there. So I think as artists we need to read ourselves first, and ask ourselves, where do you want to be? Everybody can say it. Like a lot of people care about the fame and not the money. A lot of people care about the money and not the fame. Now I just care about the money. So until I'm ready to actually sit down and ask questions, relevant questions, with the person that owns a record label, I don't think I'll be able to say But then again, 3 smart minds, man, you can do it.
Yeah.
A little bit funds there and there, we can do it. Because all it takes is a fund, team, and people actually buy their product. Yeah, simple as that.
So how do you stay, I love asking people this question as well, how do you stay mentally, emotionally, and spiritually aligned?
I smoke. I ain't gonna talk about church, bro. I ain't gonna talk about that kind of shit. But I think it's all about nothing. The only way to stay clean is to keep yourself in a place where it's clean. I think I got that from it.
Yeah.
I try to eliminate as much influence as possible into my life. I don't like having too many people with too many energies around me. We're not talking 80%, and somebody wakes up at 40, he's gonna put that 40 in you. So I think the only mental health obviously sometimes it might be toxic, but the less energies you have to deal with, the better your energy. So, and a little bit plans for a backup. Then if things don't work out, then the lungs go for a workout.
Okay, so how do you maintain relationships? How do you keep them balanced in terms of work, family? Challenge. How do you
Wanna
balance
balance it? Just gonna need people gotta have to understand. People need to, you need to. I will be lying for there's balance. You just have to find somebody who actually gets it.
Yeah, somebody who understands.
Somebody who's gonna be like okay, not you being in bed in time.
Yeah.
You know, parents are gonna be okay with you coming late to your own siblings'
Yeah.
birthday. You know what I mean? You have to have siblings that actually understand for it. Money could be easy, but at least no matter saka kege.
Yeah.
You know, if it's gonna come, it's a bonus. If it doesn't, at least the kege. You know, you have to be in a you have to train people that are important to you. Because you can, if you cannot change them, at least train them to actually accept the way we know what to pull up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the only way I think I find balance in that. I tell people what I want them. I tell people to expect. I tell people what to expect, and I also teach people what I expect.
What's your favorite curse word? Like, horrogad. What word do you like using?
Hey, because I am because but I think maybe Jay King.
It's fuck.
Maybe fuck.
What is the hardest part about working with
Hey, I think the hardest part about me, it's not only in work, it's only with everybody that
you?
I think then I'm a difficult person to read, you know, myself, because then I can be confused. You know? So I think maybe it might be that, you know, but with every human being, you have to understand few concepts about a human being, where their heart lies, where their mind lies, and where their souls want to be. You know what I mean? If you can figure out those 3 things, whether they happy today or sad tomorrow or happier than they were yesterday, you gotta understand for it. Those 3 things, they're in a good space. So just let them be. Maybe got some of anything. Maybe I think I'll say maybe the flexible
Would Chem run for president of
Never.
Ghana?
Got time for that.
Why?
I don't like lying.
You don't like lying.
I think I'm gonna tell people what is Zaka iko guy. You know, after eating it, I'm gonna be like, but I'm too much of an honest person. You know, too much. You know, so I think it's a weak thing for a politician.
What's your ultimate goal or your ultimate dream?
I don't have a dream. Nah, I just want money. I think the money will buy the dream. Or if you can have money, I can buy any dream.
Zaga is the mission.
So Zaga is just Zaga and J.
Okay.
It's Zaga, Joe. Then Zaga will buy anything.
Okay, apart from Zaga, what motivates you to keep pushing?
Zaga, Joe. But think about it. I would say I want to see my mama do good. Or you do good, get again. Nah. She needs to eat good. She needs to live good. She needs to drive a nice car. Well, how do we get those things? Zaga.
Okay, no industry is easy, no job is easy. What advice would you give to the young creatives out there or the upcoming artists out there? What would you tell them? What would you tell to your younger self, actually? Let me not say that. What would you tell to your younger self? What advice would you give to the younger Chem?
I think the first thing I would say is you gotta love it. You gotta love it first. Because everything in this world that actually made it through the tough time was because of love. Because it won't be easy. So if you don't love it, you're gonna be like, it's not meant for me. You know what I mean? But if you love it, if you can't go a day without it, or thinking about it, or planning on doing something about it, then it's not for you. Give it to somebody else. You have to love it first, unconditionally. Not just love it unconditionally.
Knowing that we live in such a biased world and it's full of so many stereotypical minds, how do you deal? I mean, you're an artist and you're a rapper, right? And a lot of times, a lot of people, when they see us rappers, they see tattoos and stuff, the first thing that they think is Illuminati. How do you deal with such stereotypical? Babana Illuminati, Babana Tsotsi. How do you deal with such mindset?
I mean, something that you're not exposed to. I don't think I allow myself to be exposed to such people. Like I said, now I stay away from a lot of things. I stay away from a lot of things. But I had a fucked up childhood, being a foreign kid. You know, I was the darkest around all my people, probably the ugliest.
Really?
You know, but the smartest. You know what I mean? So I think when you're smart, you know what's best for you.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to be smart to know what's best for you. But eventually, you can still be given water and be like, nah, that's not good for me. Water, alcohol. That's your level of smartness. But me coming from where I'm coming from, I believe I had hardships at a younger age. For me to go through them again now, that would be a stupid decision. I learned to choose friends because I was discriminated then.
Yeah.
Imagine being Shangani with the big ass head, man. Skin is too. You know, I was told a lot of things at a young age, and I think they made me who I am. I grew a thick skin at the time, you know, and I learned people at a young age. That's why I would tell Jay I don't like that person, not because you know what I mean, but from a young age I knew a good person and a bad person by just few words out of that person. You know, I can tell a sugar-coated sentence and a real sentence from a human being because I was put through a lot of shit as a kid, you know, and I still see those motherfuckers in the streets, and I be out there like, yo, what's up?
They do,
bro. You know, and I'm clean now. I got beard, I got, got tapanya and shit, so I'm good. You know, I'm good. It was a blessing in disguise, being raised in a different country with different people, mindsets and shit.
Now that you mentioned that, and I actually relate a lot, being born from the city and having to, being born in Mozambique and growing up there and having to move to South Africa. Obviously, it's different cultures, different traditions, different languages, different mindsets. How did you actually be able to overcome all of that into building Chem, the man that you are today?
Joe, I gotta say this, man. Shout out to my parents. Shout out to those two. In fact, I had a lot of mothers because my dad is a polygamist. You know, I think that counts too. Shout out to my parents, bro. Yo, they raised us good. It's a choice. Our parents raised us good. In fact, I should have been saying this since so my dad can hear that because that motherfucker height is cool. You know what I mean? So in fact, I should say it in Shanghai. You know, so I don't think without them I was gonna be in a position whereby I'm the man I am today. That man instilled a lot of things, and he still is, you know, today. So if I wasn't guided by them, I don't wanna lie.
Speaking of parents and guidance, what are like one of the biggest, most important lessons, life lessons that you've learned from your parents?
My dad started like we build our own bricks before we build a house. My dad started making those bricks when I was like 6, you know, and he started building a house when I was like 20 something, 22, 23, you know what I mean? So it took him, I don't know how long, a decade and a half to build a house. I think that's the only lesson I took from him. There is no expiry date for greatness. You can be 40 and still be great. You can be 60 and still be great. You can be 80 and still be great. That's the problem with us artists right now. We want to be great right now. And it's a process. It's not a food end product. It's a process, you know. So a lot of us are skipping process because we want to be like the next TC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want to blow up. That's why you always see us going crazy on social media, because we just want to be seen. We just want to be there amongst the greats. But we don't know how the sleepless nights Nasty C has had in 365 days. Are you going to have those? I don't think so, because you skipped the process. So that's what I took from my dad. My dad always told me, Hore, do it for yourself. If you do something for yourself, even when it's not happening, but you know what it's for yourself and you know why you're doing it, it won't matter why it's not happening.
Yeah.
Because you will know why it's not happening. You know what I mean? If did you know what I wanna zag? You're not gonna say like this, like, you know what I mean? So do it for yourself and take time with it.
Back to the music now. So, while you were working on your project, there's probably, or maybe might have been, one artist or maybe a few that you wanted to work with and it couldn't happen. Why do you think that might have been the reason? Or why was the reason?
Now with this project, I invited everybody. I invited Louis, right? I invited Mekeli. I invited a lot of people that I look up to musically in the industry, right? And only
You responded.
not respond, they did respond, but they never finished. And that's the beauty about music. Music, it's not what is it? Music is not invitation kind of thing whereby you are forced to come to a party because you know what I mean? Music is always about energies. So if you feel like when you're not in a good space to work with Chem, when the time comes, you'll see why we have to wait so long. You know what I mean? So all of these people are good friends of mine, you know, but it's not time for us to make music. Right now I'm standing next to Loreno Fensick are one of the crew that are, even me and Joe, if we're gonna be honest about it, when we were still at college, we used to look up to Loreno Fensick. But I've Loren's WhatsApp, but I've never called. He's next to me right now. There's a mic, there's a studio in the bedroom. I could tell him just lace a verse and let's go. But it's not time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all about when the time is right. I don't think I would even have to ask. You know, it's just gonna happen. Like most of the songs that happen in this project, they just happen. You know. Now I'm free in the studio. I'm free, like I'm super free. That's why in most cases when Jay makes projects for me, what I do is I sit back, you know, and he guides me. This is what we need to do, because that's how free I am. So if you come into the studio and I feel like you belong here, I'm gonna put you on, you know. So that's how I make music. It's just energies. When the energy is right, the song is gonna be right.
Okay. So, what are your top 2 timeless music trends?
Music trends.
Tusango, Sizani bazalwane.
Musical trends, as in clothing.
No, music.
Like the trap, these.
Genre,
Piano
My
is
piano, yeah.
it's kind of Chrome was a trend.
I think the biggest trend for me was trap,
Okay.
you know. And I think for the fact that I look at things at a bigger scale, I think my piano has to be the biggest thing for me. Not because I do my piano or listen to my piano that much, but I'm looking at it at a world scale, or it might be something that South Africa needs to represent to the world. As much as Nigerians have Afro beats, maybe that's our thing. So my piano has to be it, and trap.
Okay. Well, basically, that's all the questions I have for Chem today. And thank you so much for responding.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Now let's go and make that song.
No, like genuine chat. And so, yeah, you guys must look forward to Chem's project, PEREDICE. PEREDICE, like a horse dice, yeah, well. So.
And I got a single coming through in February with some visuals, directed by Jay, co-directed by Pharrell, edited by Pharrell, and I'm gonna have a single 2 weeks before I drop the project, right? And before that, we're just gonna pile up content, because I have like 2 years to start dropping music, because I was focusing on Jay.
I'm sure everybody's looking forward to you dropping.
Yeah,
again.
it's a beautiful piece. I don't want to lie to you.
Definitely.
In fact, I'm very anxious about dropping it, because I feel like maybe it's not ready, but fuck it.
Fuck it. No, like honestly, fuck it. Because if you don't feel it ready, when is it ever gonna be ready?
Yeah, yo, it's been too long. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
That's part of it.
Thank you.
That was nice.
That shit was hella long.